everybody, I'm Philip.
And I'm Justin.
And together, we are Pajamas. We are back to watch House of the Dragon, Episode 2. I have managed to avoid spoilers this week for it.
How difficult was it?
Not very, since we're not really online that much. Well, I'm online, but I don't go out of my way to browse. I'm not a social media browser person, but sometimes I'll be scrolling, like if I'm waking up, I'll be scrolling through the feed and, So it's dangerous then. Not as dangerous as Westeros. And not as dangerous as YouTube comments. There's a few of you that did not like the last video. I'm sorry, the videos are what they are. And they will be that way. There is a video specifically made for our reactions. If you got a problem with them, you can watch that video. That's all I'm going to say about that. When we last left off, Daemon, the former doctor, had been exiled back to his place. He took his concubine lady with him. And Rhaenyra, I think her name was, is next in line. There's always two disclaimers. Number one, it's hot. It's September now. And ironically, the only days we have to record together, because we don't have very many, are the hottest days of the week. Yay for that.
For now.
When the weather cools down, we're going to binge so hard, if we're allowed to. We're getting new neighbors downstairs. We don't know what that's going to entail. Disclaimer number 2, I apologize for any stammering, stuttering, slurring, or mouth noise from either of us. I personally have a speech impediment that acts up from time to time. I have a glandular issue that acts up all the time, especially right now, unfortunately. But as said, we have very limited time together, so we have to take advantage of the time that we do have. So I cannot wait for this to settle down. So there's that. I do apologize. I try to remove it in post, but sometimes I just can't. Episode 2. Got some new stuff. What's going to happen with Daemon? What's going to happen with Rhaenyra? I think the king is being poisoned by his throne. But is it intentional? Or just happenstance? But it's the go-to, the Game of Thrones universe. So...
Yes, it's made of iron, not lead.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll find out something. I mean, obviously we will. But I wanted to do that just to watch. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, without further ado, thank you for being patient. Let's get into it. Ooh, look at a proper intro. Crab feeder. Here we go.
What reason does the crab feeder have to fear us? Fortified with an army of his gold cloaks. Daemon has squatted there for over half a year, without even a protest from the crown.
I'll caution you, Lord Corlys. A seat at the king's table does not make you his equal.
The stepstones will be settled in time.
You have dragon riders, father. Send us.
Why don't you take the princess to see about the new King's Guard posting, Lord Commander?
She's not happy.
Sir Aemon was knighted at 8 and 10.
Do any of these knights have combat experience beyond capturing poachers?
Sir Criston Cole.
I fought for a year as a foot soldier against the Dornish incursions.
It's the new Jon Snow.
Dondarrion knighted me after we raised 2 of the watchtowers along the Burn.
Don't flame me for that.
I choose Sir Criston Cole.
Let's not be too hasty,
Dang.
Princess.
My father should be defended by a man who's known real combat.
Of course, Princess.
Well, let us plan Sir Criston's investiture then.
The glory of old Valyria will never be seen again.
Uh-oh. Symbolic.
There are times when I would rather face the Black Dread himself than mine own daughter of 15.
He chose you for his heir. He didn't choose me, he spurned Daemon.
I fear that the eyes of our enemies are presently fixed on the Red Keep. The Queen has passed. A girl has been named heir to the Iron Throne, the first in its history. The king's brother, so disinherited, has claimed the Targaryen seat on Dragonstone without challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And now a foreign power has established a colony.
At the moment, the crown is perceived as being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And a blind incursion in the Stepstones is the only way to demonstrate that we are not? Do you have a specific course of action to propose?
Join our families. Wed our daughter Laena. Unite the two great surviving Valyrian houses.
Huh.
With the Targaryen dragons and the Valarian fleet.
You could not ask for a stronger match than Laena.
It begins.
I discovered that Sir Criston was the only man among them with true battle experience.
You'll make a fine knight of the King's Guard.
Do they add?
The maggots will remove the dead flesh and hopefully stop the advance of the rot.
Such matters must be discussed with a small council.
That is what I'm doing. Presently. What is your advice, dear Otto?
Marry my daughter.
Laena is young. I dearly loved.
What was it like flying the Black Dread?
And they said she was young. I was thinking like the Hand's daughter. Oh my.
To join our houses, as they were in Old Valyria. I would give you many children of pure Valyrian blood, so that we might strengthen the royal line and the realm.
Is that what your father told you to say? What did your mother tell you?
That I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14.
Awkward.
It bothers you, does it not?
My father is a king.
I did not ask for a lesson in politics. I asked whether this bothers you.
Laena is your daughter, princess. Does it bother you?
Of course it does. But I understand the order of things. I'm not sure you do.
Dang.
But the men of the realm already had their opportunity to appoint a ruling queen at the Great Council, and they denied it.
They denied you, Princess Rhaenys, but they bent the knee to me and called me heir to the throne.
Do you remind your father's men of that as you carry their cups? Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
A good and kind queen will give comfort to your subjects. Does the small council have a particular lady in mind?
Lord Corlys Balarion has.
I'm sure that she is good and kind, and that she will enjoy your company, as I have, Your Grace.
The prince has invited you to his wedding, Your Grace.
Damn.
It is in 2 days' time.
God's been good. Who is
God.
Lady Missaria?
Scorio Dromon Daemon Leitas.
Damn.
I will go to Dragonstone and drag Daemon back to face justice
Your
myself.
Grace. My apologies, Your Grace, but I cannot allow it. It's too dangerous. Daemon is without limit.
Yep.
Let me go to Dragonstone.
Told y'all he's gonna die. He's walking right into the mouth of the dragon.
You're the most comely girl at court. Why do you destroy yourself?
Hey, some of us can't help it.
Will you see the king tonight?
Called anxiety.
If you wish it.
Disband your army, banish your whore, and leave Dragonstone by order of His Grace. His Grace would never lower himself to entertain such a mummer's farce.
Dang.
Soil your name, your house, and your brother's reign.
Our love does not know titles and traditions.
To choose violence here is to declare war against your king.
Wonderful.
Even if it ends in...
Oh, I was hoping. Goosebumps. Yeah. I wanted this showdown.
Take care not to startle Syrax, my lords. She's rather protective of me.
Lady Badass is here.
Kepa nuha ina kesu ugleisa luon zombaz mi anuhon isa. Kepus?
Ia sila você euro tao.
Siculant.
Vasilari tubi.
If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me. So do it.
Hmm.
And be done with all this bother.
Huh.
His men might not put the prince's head on a spike, but what would they do with the commoner he claims he's taken to wife and made with child?
No one will harm you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You are Targaryen. You can afford to play your stupid games with the king, but I cannot.
I have come looking for an unencumbered opinion.
That's all I would ever give, Your Grace.
Ever since my name was read by the Archmaesters at the Great Council.
You sit upon the highest seat in the realm, Your Grace. Proud men don't like having to look up.
Hmm?
And she has Targaryen blood. What's to mislike?
She is 12.
She will mature.
What if I was to reject Lord Corlys' proposal?
He would not be likely to take it well, and the Sea Snake holds claim to nearly half the realm's ships.
He would not dare withhold them in the face of the realm's need.
Dang.
He went to Dragonstone.
And retrieve the egg without bloodshed. A feat I'm not sure Sir Otto could have accomplished alone.
Yes.
You're gonna choose her, the other girl, isn't she?
I intend to marry the Lady Alicent Hightower.
Yep.
Before Spring's End.
Oh no. Damn that look. Ooh boy. Friction.
I've always thought of you and I as having been made from the same cloth.
Gonna be Daemon. Yep. Yep.
No, it was never my brother's strongest trait.
What?
Being king.
Feasts and balls and tourneys.
I will speak of my brother as I wish. You will not.
Pieces are a-moving.
Yes.
All over the Westeros chessboard.
Scandal. It's what I like about this show, this series.
I like that you can never really trust anyone's intentions. There's always ulterior motive. There's always subterfuge at play. And
some with reasonable motives.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think Corlys is in the wrong for wanting to take care of this issue with the crab feeder. So his motive is, obviously, like he has
urgent.
Like he has a legitimate claim, to needing help. And so I can see where he's coming from. I can. But it's just now Daemon made his move and wasn't the smartest move. Really. It feels like Daemon is more about showmanship and a message. Like taking the baby's egg. And then saying that he was going to wed the lady and that they were, with child. And neither one of those things were true. He's more about, the flair, like a peacock. He wants to preen around. Like, I have your egg. But I think now Corlys is going to give him a focus that he didn't have before. His purpose was just to be vindictive towards his brother for what happened, instead of doing what Corlys has given him the chance to do, and that's prove himself. Because in his mind, his namesake alone is proof. That's all the proof he needs, or has needed up until now. That's why he can be so, careless and obstructive in the face of the crown, because he's Daemon Targaryen. So this alliance, the ending, it's very interesting because not only is it generous of the sea serpent, I think that's what his name is, sea serpent, but
I think so.
It's also manipulative. Like, take care of my problem for me. Show everyone else what you're made of.
And then we both get something in return.
Yeah. Like the trade routes are kept secure, and possibly Daemon gets to, with a show of power, rather than just talking and relying on his name. Well, what does that mean? Use your gold cloaks. Use your, you're the Prince of Dragonstone. Use it.
He is not one to be taken lightly.
Exactly. Prove that you're more than idle threats and really, really bad chess moves. Because this wasn't a smart one. And then, freaking the king chooses Alicent. Like, I get.
At least she's old enough to have children. Which is why this marriage is happening in the first place. Theoretically, he could die tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But it's just, it's all about politics. It's all about, what's right to strengthen the crown. You're marrying the daughter of the hand. Like, there's no, like, it feels like he's marrying more for feelings, because he's bonded, which is obviously the point. Like, the hand is now all like, oh, what? My daughter? This is on purpose. He moved her as a chess piece. He's using his own daughter. Moved her in there. And she knows it. Like, I don't think she's stupid. He wasn't very, subtle about it. Like, put on your mom's dress. But he moved her in there. Woo the king. When he's leaving, tonight when you go to the king, pretty much bang him. And yeah, so it's just that's another, just that look that Otto gave to Collis at the council. It was just like, ooh, that's kind of like nod, like, like, damn, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. I'm not saying the king should have married a 12-year-old. We've talked about medieval stuff in the last episode, how stuff that's not okay today was okay in olden times. As far back as last century, if you think about it.
That actually is true.
Yes. But as far as a political move and a power play, wrong choice. Like, I'm not advocating marriage of a 12-year-old to an adult man. But this is Game of Thrones universe. Go to. So that's Valyrian. I hate to say it like this, I do, but this is how they see it. It's Valyrian stock.
Yes.
And that is...
It's true, and that's what makes her valuable.
Like, they are essentially, along with Targaryens, they're also royalty. They talk about Valyria. I just don't think it was the smartest move. Like, you're already dealing with your brother, and you have the crab feeder out there, which you're ignoring for some reason. And you have unrest in your kingdom, because you haven't taken, it's been 6 months, and you haven't taken a wife yet, and you named your only female daughter as the heir. This dude is setting himself up for a giant fall, and this one, like, he's just climbing higher and higher and higher before this will not be one of those, like, oh my god, the king got killed moments. It's gonna be like, yep, probably shouldn't have done that in episode 1. Then you can go, oh, you probably shouldn't have done that in episode 2. You really shouldn't have done that in episode 2. Like, what allies does who's the king's ally? The hand, Otto, versus Collis, and now Daemon. Bad move, my liege. Bad move. I enjoyed the talk between the Queen That Never Was and Rhaenyra. Sorry, I said her name wrong. It's gonna take me a while to get the pronunciations right on some of these, so please bear with me. I even wrote in my notes, tell myself Ranera. I had to like enunciate it out. I keep calling her Renara. That was an interesting talk. Like,
Yes.
Well, I have that in my notes as well.
Well, shall we go to the notes then? What that information is?
Was there anything else you want to talk about from the episode? Okay. Guess we're going to the notes.
Philip's notes.
We have an intro. Yay! It's a Game of Thrones music with a lot of blood because it's fire and blood. So there you go. This is written, like I think it was developed or whatever by Ryan Condal. So I must find out who that is to see how happy I should be. It's not D&D. I'm not gonna go on a D&D rant. I did that last episode, but my feelings are very known. I'm glad it's not them. And then in the beginning, Collis is like, we need to do something about the crab feeder. And the king's saying, I can't just declare war on the free cities.
I could mention to him, don't think of this as war, think of it as law enforcement.
Yeah. This king, I like him, but he's too, I don't say he's not cutthroat enough, but he's not aggressive enough.
That may be it.
And I think that this is going to be his downfall. Like when he chose his wife, he went with the emotional side. Like he's more, I don't want to say he's too soft because I don't think he is, but I think as far as the world they're in, he might be.
Most certainly not strategic enough.
Yes. So, like I said, he's setting himself up for his own downfall. It's going to be his fault. Yeah. So he's ignoring this. It's been going on for 6 months since the last time that Collis brought it up. This dude is like, hey, the shipping routes are going to be taken. If these are taken, this is bad. And I believe he said something to the extent of, what reason does the crab feeder have to fear us? Exactly. Like he is running roughshod, doing whatever he wants, with no repercussions. You're the king. Do something. This is an invasion.
Yes.
I get you don't want a war with the free cities, but there has to be a way to do it without inciting an all-out, battle. There's got to be. The king needs like a master of strategy or something. Like, usually there's like a war general or something. I don't know. And then speaking of interesting choices, the princess says, send the dragon riders. Makes sense.
Yes.
Then it says, fear me, like, let's fly in on the creatures that make our crest. We're the only people that can do this. Go there on your dragons, burn them up, go home. Probably take you less than a week. You'll be good. They will fear you. You have dragons. Don't need to start a war. Just burn that dude. There you go. But she is sent out of the council. And
how can she learn if she cannot be there to witness the whole thing?
Well, she has to learn her place. And now it's not her place to speak up. She's not on the council.
Despite being heir.
Yeah, but she's still the bearer of cups. That's all. That's what her station is right now.
I see the conflict that she runs into.
Yeah. So they send her out to help pick the new knight person of the King's Guard. Again, I won't get all the specifics correct. And if you've read the book or books, I don't know. See, this is how unknowledgeable I am.
Is it a book or is it a series of books?
You're probably going to be really irritated with me and getting all this stuff wrong. Just like when we watched The Sandman, it's all new to us. So, just like Game of Thrones was. But she's sent out to go check out all these different prospects. And then we get not Jon Snow, Sir Criston. And she chooses him. And the hand of the king is like, hey, maybe choose one of these people. They would be strong choices for... everything is about strategy and alliances, yeah. But it's about picking the right choice for the right reasons. Her reasoning was
purely functional.
Yeah, he had battle experience, which makes sense. But if you're trying to strategize, Like, how much is your battle experience going to do you if you're being sent off to Dragonstone to die because, let's say, Prince Daemon wanted to, like, send a message and just burn everybody alive when they showed up? Well, doesn't matter now. You're toast. So, this episode was really interesting in, like, these different choices that people had to make. From the king to the princess to Collis to Daemon. Everyone was doing these different moves and power plays, which obviously they're going to. It's the go-to. But this one was just interesting from her point of view because, you know, she's learning, and this was a lesson, and we'll see if it comes back to bite her in the butt. But I don't know. The king is in his chambers with Alicent and drops the dragon, and it breaks. And I wrote symbolism. I think I said it during the episode too, but I wrote it down as well. I was like, symbolism. We learned that it's been half a year since the mother died,
and he's being compelled to marry despite that it's only been 6 months, not even a year.
Yeah, but think about it, like, in this universe, only is a long time. 6 months is kind of a long time to not marry and try and propagate an heir, a male heir, to the throne.
And at the same time, I would think that, I'm not sure what the circumstances were for their marriage, but if it was for alliances, they were arranged maybe. Well,
yeah, sounds like
they would probably, her side would probably like it if she were to be honored and remembered as much more than simply an accessory like a cape or a necklace. That he should be allowed to give her the dignity of grieving.
Yeah, but we've seen what women are viewed as in this lore. As I said, I hated to say it last episode, but the job of the queen is essentially being a broodmare. So, she even said, my one function is to provide you an heir. I think I said heir. An heir. Stupid speech impediment.
According to the patriarchal society, yes, it was an error. It was female instead of male.
Yeah, there you go. See, I wasn't totally wrong. I provided you an error. Sorry. I don't think that they would think that she needs to be honored. She was merely wife of the king. She is gone now. She is replaceable. She's disposable. And in the eyes of many, she failed to do her job. Which I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying this is facts from the go-to.
From the cultural point of view, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So he probably should have found a new wife a lot sooner. Because it's causing unrest now. So I think it's been too long. Because it's starting like, hey, you are vulnerable. And all he's doing is making himself more vulnerable. Like choosing Alicent, like. And then Alicent and Rhaenyra are in, I think it's a sept, I think they were in. Basically, Rhaenyra's still trying to grieve. You know, and she can't talk to her dad, and her dad, who, you know, he's the king, but he's still her dad. It's like, imagine that if your father was the king, and you have to, like, play both these roles. Like, you want to play, like, you have to be, you know, the prince or princess. We also are the son or daughter. Like, it's gonna be a hard, and for both sides, like, you're the king, but that's your child as well. So there's duty, and there's, you know, there's a certain code, but there's also, that's your child. Alicent says, the king chose you to be heir. I said heir again. Can't say it right. The king chose you to be heir. And she says, it wasn't so much as choosing me as it was spurning Daemon. And I was like, she's kind of got a point.
Many things can be read in more than one way.
Most things, actually. And then they suggest that the Collis and his wife, the queen that never was, I forget her name, suggests that they marry, that the king marries their daughter, and combine the Targaryen and Valyrian houses, which would be like mega power.
Yes.
Also, just throwing it out there, y'all, this incest stuff is going to come back to bite you in the ass. So, stop it. And then I wrote, Lana versus the Hand's daughter. I knew it right then. I knew then. I was like, I knew the Hand was up to something. Moving on. This is another reason I think something's afoot. In the scene where the king is having his pinky, you know, eaten by the maggots to eat the dead flesh, they're talking about it, and they're all like, "Yeah, so this would be a solid choice."
Indeed, on paper, it looks like it would be the perfect match.
But there was that part where the Maester said that, and then looks over at the hand, and it's like something's going on. Like there's collusion, and it goes deeper. This something's going on. I don't trust the hand. I don't. It's the go-to. It's the Game of Thrones universe. I don't trust the hand. Like what? Like, what does the king have to gain from marrying her? I just don't. She's not. She brings nothing other than being like
emotional support
and, actually having a womb.
And she seems to be on friendly terms with his daughter.
Not. We'll get to that.
Seems
Pause.
to.
Pause on that. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I think that look from the Maester to the hand was kind of like, okay, keep an eye out for that. If it goes nowhere, fine. If it does, I have, and I told you so, locked and loaded. So let's wait for that. And then I referenced, her name was Rhaenys. So I wrote it down. I'm trying to learn. And then Rhaenyra and Rhaenys have that conversation. She's like, does it bother you? When she thought Lana was going to be was going to marry the king, she says, I understand the order of things. And you do not. And you said last episode, when they named Rhaenyra heir, that they could have went with someone with experience.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they chose someone. So that kind of called back to what you said. When she said, I understand the order of things, the first thing I thought was what Justin said in the last episode.
Yes.
When it was on. So you called it, they referenced it. But I like that they're showing, like, I'm suited for this. You're not. And of course, Rhaenyra's pride is going to be like, are you trying to make me mad? Like, yes and no.
Yes, she clearly is.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
At the same time, she does have a point that if he were to die in this episode, she would be much more qualified to take the position than a young lady.
Yeah.
Whose main function is to pour the king's wine.
Yeah. And then she says something to the extent of, Rhaenys does, men would rather put the city to torch than see a woman ascend to the Iron Throne.
At least she's willing to admit it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she knows the Game of Thrones. She understands the game. And I don't think the king does. He's going to learn the hard way. Like I said, he set himself up for his own demise. And then I thought it was interesting. I wrote, the Hand's daughter is also being a counsel to the king. And this is when my thoughts was like, this is on purpose. This is a chess move by the Hand, by Otto. This is a chess move. And a good one. Good one. I wrote, apparently, this is some slow-acting poison, or whatever the hell's going on with the king. It's been like 6 months, and his hand's only like there. What's going on with his back? Is that still an issue? Just curious. And then there's an emergency council session. We find out that Daemon stole an egg from the dragons and then invited the king to his wedding. Yeah, not the brightest guy. One of the smartest move, but
he's practically asking for it.
Oh, well, yes, he's totally asking for it. That's what he wanted. He wanted his brother to show up there. That's what he wanted. He was trying to light a fire under him. Because then Rhaenyra asks, which egg? And it was Prince Balon's egg. I was like, damn, dude.
Symbolism.
Oh, yeah. Like, holy crap.
He's being serious. He means this.
No, he's just being a catty little bitch.
Exactly. And he's showing that he's not afraid to do such drastic measures to make his point.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much unafraid. Because that's going to be his downfall, I think, in the future. Is he lacks his arrogance and his lack of fear will, in the end, cost him. Because he's so arrogant and like, I'm a Targaryen and no one can touch me. I can do whatever I want. Look what I did to the king. Ha 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 ha. I predict that's going to be his undoing.
Sort of like the story of Icarus, who thought that, oh, he's fine. In fact, he'll soar higher and higher and higher. And oh, the wax is melting and he fell into the water.
Yep. And he's going to the water if he's going to take on the crab feeder. So there we go. How close to the sun is Damon gonna fly? And how high will his fall be? So then Otto and company go to Dragonstone to confront Damon. And I'm like, they are mortal enemies. This is going to end badly.
It was a great scenery. The background was perfect for this situation.
Oh, yeah. And then Rhaenyra shows up, and I was like, yay! I wondered because when she found out it was her brother's egg. Also, really good job by the actress in this role. Like, she was cast really well. Because when I first saw pictures of her, I was like, oh, it's a little Daenerys. But no, she's actually coming into her own as her own character. Which would make sense because that's how it was written. But you know what I mean. Well, I hope you do. If you don't. But yeah, she shows up. She handles it. So I was like, Lady Badass shows up and handles business. Gets the egg back. Like, she pretty much called Damon out on his bullshit. And then his lady was like, we're getting married. I'm having a baby. Wah. And I was like, you are bad at this game right now. He's like that, like, 15-year-old who like wants to lash out at his parents, but just doesn't. He's more about the act than the intent. Like, he has intent, but the act means more than an outcome. He doesn't care about the outcome. He just wants to do it. And listen, that's my opinion. I don't think Prince Daemon is a very good strategist. His is like, me take by force, me do thing, ha 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 ha, me make king mad. Oh crap, Rhaenyra's here. We find out that his lady, Daemon's lady, doesn't want a child. She's like, I don't want a child. And then we had that really cool notion of what it's like in this universe, in this time, to be a commoner versus royalty. We talked about that Daemon has no fear because of his last name and his lineage, whereas his wife to be possibly,
she's in perpetual fear because she doesn't have one.
Right? Yeah, she's been bought. It's like, I've been bought and sold more times than I can remember. Like,
what name?
Yeah, and she says, I didn't choose to be with you for station or wealth or any of that. I chose.
She made it clear that she is not a gold digger.
She chose because she wanted to be liberated. Liberated from what? Liberated from fear. I thought the whole scene was really cool, just showing the juxtaposition between station and place in the society. And just replace poor with wealthy today, and it's the same thing. If you were born into a wealthy family, the concept of fear is not nearly the same as someone who is born into poverty.
Yes.
So, something to think about.
Vulnerabilities and lack thereof.
So then the king has a one-person council. He's looking for an unencumbered opinion. And the guy says, that's all I would give. I'm like, bullshit. No one gives unencumbered opinions. No one. Especially when it comes to the council and the families. Everyone's got a stake in something. Everyone is playing a game. So, yeah, that line, I think both of us were like, what? You're lying.
The closest thing that he could get to that is if maybe he spoke to a hermit that lives high in the mountains, far away, and lives separate from society, and is not connected to any positions of power.
Yeah, that'd probably be the only person. Or maybe the crab feeder. I doubt they would care. And then there's the idea of if the king doesn't take Paulus and Rhaenys' daughter as, his next wife, what would the retaliation be? And it was said, he could withhold. He like has half the ships in the realm. He could just be like, nope. And the king's like, he would never do that. And I'm like, try him. You saw what happened when you chose a lowly, peasanty type girl to be your new wife. Well, I'm going to hammer this nail over and over. This is a bad choice. This is a bad choice. Because I wrote, chooses to marry Alicent right before it happened. I was like, he's gonna choose her. I knew it. And then, of course, Collis is pissed. And then Rhaenyra's pissed.
Yes.
She walks out too. Her confidant, someone she thought she could trust. From her point of view, to put it very plainly, she kind of did her dirty. You know, I tried to. We both lost our mothers. Thought we had a bond, and here you are, leapfrogging me. Like this is such a bad decision on different levels, from the king's safety, from Rhaenyra's point of view, from Alysanne, like she's now in danger, to the Valerian house.
Choosing the little girl would have given people a sense of stability that no, the society is not on the brink of collapsing. There's still some stability.
Yeah. But it also would have, like I said, to bring the Targaryen and Valerian houses together would have made an ridiculous power. I mean, they're already together because he married Rhaenys, but to bring that child with the king, like, now we're uniting these together for the throne.
Yes.
Not just in general, but for the throne. Because even when Corlys married Rhaenys, might have been an idea, you know what, my wife might get the Iron Throne. Probably not. But, there was, if something happened to the other king, there was a chance between those two. And obviously he was chosen. But now here was a chance for that family lineage to hit the Iron Throne. He chose, I don't want to call her like a peasant or like a beggar person, but what does she bring? What does she bring to, other than comfort and a genuine ear and a good heart? She doesn't offer anything. Oh, and not being 12. What does she offer? Nothing that I can see. So was the other choice more gross? Yes. But so Rhaenyra walks out. She's mad. And I understand. Like, damn. It'd be like if you were in line for a promotion, like your best friend kind of went behind your back and played the chess with your help of your dad, played the chess move, and like, she's a glorified handmaiden to me right now. And she's going to be queen. And then Corlys is talking to someone, and I was like, it's a meeting with Daemon. Yep. Kind of find out that Corlys, he feels like, my realm, my house. I'm the only lord or whatever that built my throne myself. I did that. I put the work in to make this. Driftmark, I think it was. I did this. While your brother wants to go around throwing, tournaments and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I will speak about my brother whatever way I wish. You watch your tongue. Ooh. Still that Targaryen loyalty, still loyalty to the throne. A little bit there. And again, it's also Daemon's ego. I can do whatever I want because of my last name and my association. You were still beneath me, shut up. So, Daemon rides hard on the D of his last name. He rides that stuff hard. So, I do predict it's going to be his downfall, but we'll see. And then everything else I've talked about, and that's all for my notes. Everything else, or for my patrons over on Patreon. Well, here we go. We are.
This was a very interesting episode.
It was, man.
And very eventful.
Yeah. Not a lot happened as far as like violence and like altercation, but we got more
strategy.
Yeah, and we got to see more of the crab feeder. What a horrible way to die. Oh, I hate being empathetic sometimes. So I'm glad that the crab feeder wasn't just a one-off. So it's nice to know that I think it was the triarchy, I think. I'm glad that these are actually things. They weren't just one-off side things just mentioned in passing in the first episode. This is an actual threat. Now, do I buy the crab feeder as like a threat to the realm? No. But it is a threat that can be used to move these other pieces around. Because the king doesn't want to do anything about it. Like, I get his point of view to a degree, but also, it's your realm. Do something about it. You're king.
Yes. By all standards, ancient, medieval, and all the way to today, piracy was still is and probably will always be, understandably, a very serious crime.
Yeah, so it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens in the next episode. What's gonna happen with Alyssand and Rhaenyra? What's gonna happen with? Is there gonna be a wedding? What's Daemon gonna do? Because now he may not think he is. He's being manipulated by Colas. So right now, that guy is sitting in the best seat. I think it'll backfire on him because I think you can't trust Daemon, obviously. But right now, it's more about like relationship of convenience. Like, you wash my back, I wash your back. You help me keep these ports open, and you can also look like you know what the hell you're doing as far as like showing everyone what you can do, like stealing an egg and lying about a marriage and a baby. It's like, that's juvenile to me. That's something like a 15-year-old lashing out would do, as I said. So we'll see where all this goes, but this is very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. So, is there anything else you'd like to add about this episode?
No.
Okay. I was going to wrap this one up. It is so freaking hot. My brain is like, bleh. As always, I don't have a fancy outro. So I'll simply say, can I wait till summer is over? Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.